What's up, guys? So, back doing another mock draft. This one is a 10-team standard league. I believe the first one I did was a 10-team standard league. So, yeah, doing another one on ESPN. I just actually got done with my real draft for tonight for my buy-in for fantasy football. Thought it was pretty good. I will, once the results are uploaded, I'll show you guys what my draft looked like and then recap all that with you guys. If you guys saw Antonio Brown taken first, it's a mock draft, so it's whatever. Never had this good a selection at 4 before. Let's go with AP. Whenever I actually have been, I guess I've only done one draft before, or one draft so far, but if I did have the choice between AP, Eddie Lacy, and Jamal Charles, and in a draft with some stakes behind it, then I don't know. I'd probably go with Eddie Lacy. I think he has the highest ceiling out of all the running backs this year. Adrian Peterson's probably going to I think he's going to get limited looks at first. Eddie Lacy's kind of, as long as he can stay healthy. He had a concussion problem last year. But if he can stay healthy, I think he's got the highest ceiling of any running back because there's no other running back on the Packers that's going to be stealing carries from him. And Jamal Charles, I think, is the most reliable back pretty much in the entire draft, maybe outside of Marshawn Lynch. Even then, I think that Jamal Charles, Marshawn Lynch, and Matt Forte are the three most reliable. I don't know why Matt Forte dropped so far this year. He's a good back. I think he's better than C.J. Anderson. I always hate getting 10th pick though, because normally by then, of course, all the top 5 running backs are gone, and most of the time Matt Forte is gone. So is Antonio Brown, so that leaves you with a tough decision. I don't think it's going to be a very good year for either LaShawn McCoy or DeMarco Murray. I think McCoy will do all right. I think that depends more on the Bills' offensive line and the Bills' overall offensive scheme as a whole than him. The Bills have been able to get some good years out of some older backs in the last couple of years, mainly Fred Jackson. C.J. Spiller didn't do so hot the last, I'd say, 2 years, but I think it can be a good year for LaShawn McCoy. I just don't know if he's worth the first-round pick. I guess after Matt Forte is gone, I'd either go with Dez or Demarius. Ten team leagues is where it starts getting tricky on trying to figure out when to take a quarterback. Obviously, if Andrew Luck or Aaron Rodgers slips to you, then in second or third round, then yeah, go ahead and pick them up. But after that, it's kind of hard to tell when you should actually take maybe a Peyton Manning or a Drew Brees or Tom Brady. The suspension was just lifted off of Tom Brady, so he's been a hot commodity of late. Just adds a little bit more quarterback depth to the quarterback pool this year. Let's actually go look at it now. Yeah, Tom Brady moved up a little bit on the draft board. I'd say anywhere down to Tony Romo is a good set of Tier 1 quarterbacks. Cam Newton and Ryan Tannehill I think will have solid years too. Whenever I'm stuck between Cam Newton and Ryan Tannehill, it's kind of hard because obviously Cam Newton's had the better past. He might have a little bit higher upside as a whole, just as a player talent-wise, but I think that Tannehill is going to have the better year. In my draft today, C.J. Anderson ended up slipping to 17 or 18, which I think is about right. I think that's where he should be ranked. I just don't trust Broncos running backs, whether it was Sean Moran or Amani Ball. They just never really came through. I think Jeremy Hill's a good option. My thing with Jeremy Hill, obviously there's a doubt with every running back, but my thing with Jeremy Hill is I think he could end up like Gio Bernard from last year. Gio had a lot of upside at the beginning of the year, and to be honest, I don't really know what happened. He just started losing. I think he had about 1 or 2 weeks of injury in like the start of the middle of the season, and Jeremy Hill started getting carries and just kind of took over the role. Just kind of an unfortunate thing for Gio Bernard. It's not like it wasn't a talent thing. I think he had a decent season. I think he's still a good running back, and he definitely has a lot of upside. He could definitely flip-flop roles with Jeremy Hill again. A pretty large amount of options for the 17th pick. Definitely go ahead with Dez. If you can get Dez at 17, I'd personally take Dez over Odell any day. I think Odell's gonna have a decent season, but with Victor Cruz back, I think Victor Cruz is gonna take away some of the looks. Shane Vereen definitely is gonna take away some of the looks. I think Eli Manning's not gonna try as hard to find Odell or Victor Cruz with a dump-off option as good as Vereen. And if Rashad Jennings can be any sort of consistent this year, then that's just another option out of the backfield. I don't think that Odell can possibly have as good a season as he did his rookie year. It's a little too early to go ahead and snag one of the quarterbacks. See if maybe Alfred Morris is still on the board. Alfred Morris, I think, is one of the more underrated players this year. I think he's a Tier 1 running back that's rated kind of in the Tier 2. With Kirk Cousins starting now and how reliable Alfred Morris has been in years past, I think it's hard to pass him up. I mean, obviously, he's the main source of Redskins' offense now. I mean, look at the running backs around him. I think he's by far the most reliable. One of the more interesting guys for me this year is T.J. Yeldon. A lot of people haven't been paying close attention to him just because he's, obviously on the Jaguars. I'm not going to go as far as to say he could be the next MJD, but, he has the talent to definitely be a top 15 running back this year. I think he could definitely work his way into it. If Blake Bortles starts struggling, he's going to get a lot of the carries. There's really no one to take away his carries either. Maybe Denard Robinson. Also, I was high on Joseph Randle at the beginning of the year, maybe around June, July time when the rankings were first coming out. But Joseph Randle's just made such a big jump on everyone's draft board. And he might be good a little bit later in the season, but especially at the start, it's going to be running back by committee in Dallas. McFadden's going to get a lot of the carries. And it's a big if, but if McFadden can't stay healthy, then I think they're going to end up splitting carries. McFadden might actually end up having more points. See if maybe I can snag a Drew Brees or Peyton Manning. Even a Tom Brady. Looks like I'll be able to. Honestly, I think Tom Brady is the third best quarterback on the board now, just because he's got so much to prove going into the regular season this year. I know he's a hot commodity going in right now, but he's got a decent amount of weapons this year. You bring back a healthy Danny Amendola, well, maybe healthy Gronk, Julian Edelman, looking better than ever. They bring in Reggie Wayne. So he definitely has some options to throw to this year. Tannehill at 36. All right. But I definitely think that Tom Brady is one of the top. If not a top 3 option, then definitely a top 5 option. And I think Tom Brady coming back just boosts Julian Edelman's stock that much more. My thing with the Patriots receivers is, I mean, obviously you can never tell who's going to have a big week. That just goes for the Patriots team as a whole. It's not, yeah, like I was saying, it's not just the receivers, it's the running backs, the defense, everything. Have very few individual stars outside of Gronk and Tom Brady. But if I didn't say already, I'm going to be doing my normal thing here, go through the first 7 rounds, fill out my main 7 positions, and then, let's see here, and then give you guys the recap at the end. Starting to thin out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and grab Julian Edelman. Another guy that I think can have a big year, a guy that a lot of people are starting to get high on, is Jarvis Landry. I believe he is the primary receiver in Miami. He looked alright last year. With an improved Ryan Tannehill, I definitely think he could have a big year. Miami hasn't had a receiver that's like a top 10 guy in a long time. Definitely, when you consider the guys that are around him, definitely a good risk to take. And a move that I ended up doing today, one that I think is a very good move to make, is drafting Randall Cobb and then handcuffing him with Davante Adams. Just if the Green Bay offense is anything like normal, and I mean Davante Adams is going to be getting a lot of looks. Randall Cobb's obviously the main option in that offense, but see if Greg Olsen's still there. But definitely a lot of things going to end up going Davante Adams' way. If he can pull any type of consistency together, he could definitely be like a Randall Cobb for this year. Was it like a 20? I can't remember Randall Cobb's breakout year, if it was 2012 or 2013. Either way, it could be a year very similar to that for Davante Adams. See what's available at the flex. One guy that I just can't really figure out is Sammy Watkins. If Tyrod Taylor and or E.J. Manuel can actually get it together this year, start playing a little bit better, then it could definitely be a big year for Sammy. He's got the talent. It's just if he's got the right guy thrown to him. I'm going for a little bit of a reach here. A guy that's really popular with a lot of people right now, Ameer Abdullah. I think he could definitely have a Kevin Smith, Kevin Jones type of year. One huge year and then maybe kind of fall off a little bit. Definitely seems like that guy for Detroit. So go through here, just give you guys a quick recap of my team. Obviously, as you can see, I got Tom Brady, Adrian Peterson, Alfred Morris, Dez Bryant, Julian Edelman, Olsen, and Ameer Abdullah. So I'll post the results, and yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.